Hey guys, how's it going? As Christians, something that we talk about a lot is go out and share the good news. But we don't tell each other what the good news is. Like, we say the good news is Christianity, like the good news of Christianity, that Christ came, that Christ died for it. But what actually is the good news? And something that, like, can we condense the message down in a way that we understand what the good news actually is? Because we actually don't, in our modern culture, have much of the context to know what that means compared to what people in biblical times or in the time of the apostles would have known that to mean or would have thought that to mean. Put simply, the good news is we have been saved from our sins, or we have been reunited with God. Something along those lines. It's not as cut and dry as one sentence, but here's what we need to know. And this is why the Bible starts at chapter 1 is we were with God. It starts in chapter 1 in Genesis, yeah. We were with God. We were happy in the garden in paradise, and then we weren't. We became separated from God in our nature through the sin of Adam and Eve. And that needed reparation. See, we were created for happiness. We were created in paradise. So we want to get back to paradise. We want to be back in happiness. We want to be back reunited with God. Well, throughout the Old Testament, we're seeing what a reality not living with God looks like. Yeah, there's a lot of stories in the Old Testament about, God following his chosen people, the Hebrews or the Israelites. But one thing that is consistent throughout the whole Old Testament is that there's a few good people and the rest of the world's pretty terrible. Because it comes down to all the things that God said to man in Genesis. Now there's going to be labor in your work. Now there's going to be pain in childbearing. Like, discomfort entered the world, and so now we have to live through that discomfort because of sin. And down the line, Jesus comes along. God himself becomes incarnate as a man and suffers an agonizing death. Actually, scientists have looked into the things that the gospel accounts say that Jesus suffered, and he suffered just about, if not every kind of suffering that a human can undergo. And then he died, and he offered his death to the Father in reparation for sins, in order to reunify humanity with God. Something really neat about God becoming incarnate, about Jesus becoming a human being, is that humans, by our nature, were alienated from God. We were separated. But God cannot be alienated from himself. That would be a contradiction in terms. Like, I can't be alienated with myself. Like, I can't be like here, but like I'm also over there and we're not talking to each other. That doesn't make sense. I'm me, I'm here. God can't be alienated with himself. And so by becoming man, Jesus unites human nature with divine nature. Because he took on the nature of humanity. He became a human, but he can't, and while humans are alienated from God, he can't be alienated from himself. So in Jesus Christ, humans are united with God. And then at his death on the cross, he offers that to everyone. He offers his death to the Father so that everyone else can be united to him as well. Which means going forward from that moment in the gospel. It's no longer about the world we're suffering in. It's no longer about trying to make it from day to day and trying to make it without sin as long as we can, or trying to survive the cruel effects of sin on the world. Because from that point on, it's about healing the world. But it's about healing each other and other people and bringing other people to God. And the good news is that that's possible. Is that we can become united with Christ, that we no longer are slaves to sin and to all the torment that is in the world. We can become better than that. We can actually grow as people. We can become healed from the things that we've suffered, both within our own selves and from others. We can be healed of those things. We can grow and we can become reunited with God. And in becoming reunited with God, get back to that paradise that we were made for. We can be reunited with the happiness God originally made us for. See, in Genesis, in the beginning, they were in paradise and they were happy. And we don't add that to the gospel, or to Genesis, to the Bible, just because we want to know what we no longer have. We don't want to say, oh, we were in paradise, but we're not anymore. The point of having that in the Bible is saying that is where we are going. We can return to the paradise that we were made for. That is the good news. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a like. That'll tell YouTube that you think it was good content. If you want to say anything, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, disagreements, whatever, stick them in the comments down below. I try to respond to every single comment. And if you want to see more of my videos, please hit the subscribe button. That way I will show up in your feed. Thank you guys so much. God bless.